in his face, a ring very like the one Prince Charles had given Lady Diana. And then, and she wasn't proud of this, she'd gouged a groove along the side of his brand new Porsche with a screwdriver. It was a pathetically unoriginal thing to do, but she'd done it because she had known it would annoy him more than anything else she could do or say. It was horribly petty of her, and she hadn't even felt a scrap of satisfaction for what she'd done. In fact, she'd felt ashamed of herself, thoroughly humiliated by resorting to such a childish act of malicious revenge, which was precisely what Marcus accused her of acting like a child. That was after he'd begged her to forgive him for sleeping with Selina. He'd sworn that it had happened only the once, that it meant nothing, but when Libby confronted her friend, Selina had a different version of events. She claimed that she had lost count of how many times she and Marcus had had sex. "How could you, of all people, do this to me?" Libby had demanded, fighting hard not to cry, wanting desperately to hang on to what was left of her dignity, to keep the avalanche of her emotions from crashing down the crumbling mountainside of her self-control. "You know better than anyone how much I loved Marcus. I just don't understand how you could have been so two-faced. One minute you're picking out your bridesmaid dress and helping me prepare for my wedding, and the next you're in bed with Marcus. How could you have done that?" She felt as hurt by her friend's betrayal as she did by Marcus's. Her expression indifferent, Selina had shrugged. "It wasn't about you. It was about me and my feelings for Marcus." Libby had been shocked at the coldness in her friend, something she'd never seen before. "Why don't you just go ahead and tell me that all's fair in love and war?" she had said. Her question had been met with another careless shrug. "I don't need to. But rather than attack me, you should ask yourself this. If Marcus really loved you, why did he want to be with me?" It was a good question, and one Libby had failed to answer in the last 36 hours since her life had been upended by finding Marcus and Selina in bed together. Or would it be more accurate to say it was a question she couldn't bring herself to answer? Not honestly, at any rate. Either way, the one thing she could be sure of was that she was running away from what she thought was her future and going back to her past at Larkspur House, where, apart from one of the saddest moments of her life, she had enjoyed some of the happiest times. It was a truly wondrous place, a place of exquisite enchantment, and, according to Elfrida and Great Aunt Bess, it was a place where her broken heart would start to heal. Given how awful she felt, that seemed a tall order, but if anywhere could restore her faith in love and mend the shattered pieces of her heart, it was Larkspur House. Entering the village of Finchley Green and passing a row of thatched cottages and their pretty gardens of hollyhocks, lupins, lavender, climbing roses and lady's mantle, she spotted two neighbouring cottages that seemed to be in competition with each other to see who could be the more patriotic, with their red, white and blue summer bedding plants in honour of the royal wedding. Both houses were decorated with flags and bunting, but one had a twee miniature wishing well in the middle of a circular bed, and on its roof was a picture of Prince Charles and Lady Diana. It was the famous photo of the pair on the day they announced their engagement to the world back in February. It was a painfully taunting reminder of when Marcus proposed to Libby, and she was suddenly seized with the desire to stop and do something unthinkable to that photograph. Resisting the feeling, as strong as it was, she carried on through the village, passing the green and duck pond and the parade of shops, then down the hill over the small bridge, taking the sharp bend to the right and then along Woodley Lane, the narrow track where frothy cow parsley brushed the sides of her recently painted camper van. She and Selina had been running their catering business, buffet lunches mostly for corporate clients in the city, for 18 months now. And while Selina had been happy to continue using her car to deliver the trades of food to their clients, Libby had decided to trade in her Honda hatchback for a VW camper van. She'd had it resprayed, and the words, "From our pantry to your table," added. The van had proved to be a godsend and was perfect for transporting food around town, but it was a nerve-jangling bone shaker for a long journey such as this one. What would happen to the